All right, you ready to do this one?
I am ready.
I think it's going to be a little divisive.
Oh no.
I think it could be divisive. I mean, we'll see.
I'm excited. It's
I'm
Sean Connery.
I'm excited too. You know, this movie was 31 years old yesterday.
That's old.
It is old.
Sean Connery is old too. He is 89 years old.
89.
89.
Wow. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your Master of Fun and Wonder, your Viceroy of Verisimilitude, and your Sommelier of Cinema. And I'm here with my associate.
Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell.
And who are you?
I'm the ace, the arbiter of cinematic excellence.
And what else are you?
The enchantress of entertainment.
What does an enchantress of entertainment do?
She enchants people to watch movies.
All right, well, there you go. I guess
you go.
that's exactly what we do. So this is the 32nd episode
Wow.
of Elizabeth's Whining About Movies.
32.
32.
That's how old I am.
That's how old you are. I believe that. And this movie that we're going to talk about tonight is only 31.
Wow.
It turned 31 years old yesterday.
That's amazing. And we watched it yesterday.
And we watched it yesterday on its 35th
On the
birthday.
anniversary.
Now, today I would be remiss if I did not mention that today is the 43rd anniversary of the release of Star Wars.
Wow.
Today is the real Star Wars Day, not that poser day that was... what a Hallmark come up with that? Valentine's Day and May the 4th be with you. Ooh, it's a pun.
It's a cool pun.
It's a stupid, easy pun. It's not
It's
creative
fun.
at all.
Come on, man.
But, well, first of all, we have a lovely drop. Line 39. Hang on, let's move in so I can... this is another bottle of wine from Candida and Claude. Claude cannot be in the audience tonight.
Right, and he wanted us to say hello to Candida.
Yes, you want to say hello to Candida. Now, I want to point out that Trinidad the Island Man did send us 4 bottles of wine as well. One which we had on the show. The others we just devoured. And I was told it was actually part of Stephen Amell's winery. I did not realize that. I thought it was the Kutcher's winery. I thought it was Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. But I do want to point out that Trinidad the Island Man also sent us some incredible wine. That's gone.
Yep.
Gone. But Claude and Candida sent this to us. And by the way, for somebody that was complaining that we didn't have fluted glasses...
I listened.
I hear you.
I was like, oh, we got to buy fluted glasses.
I just am afraid if we break them in here, I don't want to...
We won't break them. Why would we break them?
Well, here's to the third Indiana Jones film, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, directed by Steven Spielberg from 1989, or as I like to call it, the most disappointing cinematic summer of my life.
Come on, man. Not yet.
Star Trek V, License to Kill, Ghostbusters
Okay.
2.
And also to Sean Connery. And
Sean-
also to Candida.
And to Candida. Cheers to that. Salud. That's good.
Ooh,
That is really good.
very nice.
Look at those legs, too.
I really like Pinot.
I'm a big Pinot fan.
Yeah.
Big Pinot fan. So, Elizabeth, this is the third. I think this might be the first sequel we've watched. Third in a series.
Huh.
No, because we watch Empire. That's a sequel.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is the third movie in a series. We've never done
The
that.
third movie.
Third movie. Never watched third movie.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
what is this movie about? Aside from self-parody.
Is this how it's going to go the whole
No,
time?
I asked you, you got to tell everybody what the movie's about.
All right. So, this is the third movie in the Indiana Jones series. And how does it start off?
Well, it starts off as a flashback where you find out that everything that made Indiana Jones happened in one afternoon.
Oh, right. That's right. He's a kid played by River Phoenix.
Which is good
And-
casting.
Very good casting. And he is in like the Boy Scouts or something like that.
Right? The Super Boy Scouts, like the Rangers, Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
They're like in Monument Valley, walking.
Yeah, so they're walking in the desert and they their car breaks down or something.
No, they're on horseback. They got
They're
horses.
on horseback.
They're on. Come on, man! You just watched this movie last
I
night.
really was paying attention.
So they're on horseback, and they all stop for a minute, and then Indiana Jones and his friend go look for a cave, and they stumble across basically the prototype Indiana Jones. Like, young Indy sees a dude in a cave
With a
excavating that he's like, I'm going to just be like that guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to totally steal that guy's whole persona.
Come on, when you're young and impressionable, yeah, you totally do that. So
And-
these people are digging up some kind of treasure.
By the way, there's no evidence where they came from. They're just in this cave. You can't see from the outside, but when they get in, they just randomly have gone into this cave and found them
Yeah, randomly.
randomly.
And that happens too.
I guess it does. And what are they looking for?
So
Well, what do they find?
they find a cross.
The Cross of Coronado.
Yes, that.
As a matter of fact,
Oh, and grab Sean Connery.
here's
right
here's Indiana Jones as River Phoenix with the Cross of Coronado in his hand. Oh no, it's around his neck. Here it is. Here's the Cross of Coronado. No, my Sean Connery needs to be repaired. He's in a
Well,
little.
that's okay.
No, he's in a state.
Oh, come on, man.
No, he's in a state. Can't show
What
him.
movie is he from, that one?
That's from Indiana Jones, and yes, you would know. He's in a state. Here, you can get Indiana Jones from over there.
No,
We
I
don't
want,
need.
I
No,
want
no. Sean Connery's in. Don't. No. Don't get. No. Don't. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're not at that part in the movie anyway. Young Indiana Jones.
He won't let me play with the
The
toys.
first young Indiana Jones, and there's been others.
I just...
So Cross of Coronado,
Okay.
and young Indy steals the Cross of Coronado.
He steals it from them because he says it belongs in a museum. And so
And he's not scared of snakes.
And, well, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. He's not scared of
We
snakes.
see how he becomes scared of snakes, or how much he hates snakes because... Anyway, he steals the sword. He steals the cross, and they notice him as he's trying to get out of the cave. So they chase him.
It's actually, I would dare say, the best action sequence in this whole movie. There's a long, protracted chase sequence that involves horseback, cars,
Yeah.
and then a train.
To
A
me,
circus train.
Yeah, and okay, why do you think it's the best chase sequence? I think
Because
it's
all the rest of the action scenes in this movie are lame. And they pale in comparison to the other two Indiana Jones movies. But we'll get there.
this is different than the other two movies.
Yeah, it's
for
not
sure.
good.
I wouldn't say it's not good.
Keep going.
I wouldn't say that. So, yeah. So there's a chase scene.
We're getting salty in this one, I'll tell you.
Oh my goodness, we haven't even.
So there's a chase sequence when all the proto Indiana Jones, it's like if this were a Ridley Scott movie, this would be the engineer, and then River Phoenix is humanity, which is Indiana Jones. So you got proto Indiana Jones and his men are chasing young Indy onto
He jumps onto a circus train.
a circus train with two of the most unconvincing fake giraffe heads sticking out of the top of a train I've ever seen in my life.
That's true.
which begins the horrible production value of this movie. Even though Douglas Slocum shot it and it looks beautiful, but my God, I mean, those giraffe heads, even when I saw it in the movie, I was like, really? You couldn't, like, get real giraffes just for the shot? No.
Well, you know, it's not easy getting giraffes.
I guess not, especially for this particular movie that was, I don't know. Anyway, we haven't even got to the horrible rhinoceros yet.
I thought you liked this chase sequence.
I do. I like this chase sequence. I think it's really well done.
Okay.
It just looks like it cost about 6 cents.
I
This is the
personally-
Canon Films version. This is like Alan Quartermain in The Lost City of Gold.
Okay, can I talk to
Yeah,
you?
go ahead. Sorry. I'm getting my revenge after 31 years.
Oh my God. Oh. So, I found the chase sequence very, what's the right word? Oh. Like it was performed. It was more of like a performance as
Than a
opposed
real
to
chase
a realistic
Which
chase
is
scene.
basically, you've just summed up the whole movie. I mean,
But that
Raiders
doesn't
and
mean-
Temple of Doom had real action sequences that you felt were real, that you were in them, and there was real peril. this is a performance. This is a stage play version of those action
it felt
sequences.
like a stage play, but that doesn't mean I didn't like the movie.
No, I think it's aside from the fact that during this sequence you find out how Indiana Jones has the scar on his chin. In the circus, he falls into a whole vat, a big box of.
He falls into a huge thing full of snakes.
Full of snakes.
And they get into his clothes.
And lest we forget, while he's still on top of the train, they agitate the rhino that's in the train,
right?
Which is even more unconvincing than the giraffes, and it's putting its horn up again. I don't know who clearly the Jurassic Park team had not joined Steven Spielberg's group yet.
And what circus has a rhinoceros?
I don't know.
Those are endangered.
What circus has a
animals.
fake rhinoceros that's clearly not even real? that moves like it has one movement. And I'll tell you, it's always irked me when the horn comes up to it. It is so bad. It doesn't feel real at all. And I'm like, how when you guys are shooting this did you not go, wait a minute, no. Take two.
Well, okay.
I know we're on moving train, we can't. They're like, no, it's good enough. Like everything in this movie. It's good enough. Let's move on.
Are we going to get through this? Like, we're already 11 minutes in.
It's okay. So this chase sequence is kind of delightful. I kind of liked it.
It's delightful.
Fake as it is. I mean, it's
my
beautifully
God.
shot.
You just ranted for
Beautiful
like 5
scenery.
minutes, and you just said it was delightful.
Well, I like the scene. I just think that truncating all of Indiana Jones's origin into one afternoon.
I appreciated knowing where all those things came from.
Nobody is fully formed in the experiences of one after. You don't make all your fashion choices for the rest of your life by meeting one dude in a cave in Monument Valley, which he does, leather jacket and a fedora, and then of course, after all this, he keeps the cross of Coronado. He runs home.
He does.
He runs home. He runs home, and like there is the most movie I'm a scriptwriter scene when he tries to get his father to listen to him and his father's not paying any attention.
But that's realistic.
Count to 20 in Greek. So I get it. Indiana Jones's dad, who's played by Alex Hyde White, and later Connery dubbed the voice.
Oh.
And asks him to count in Greek because he's a stern taskmaster, and we're supposed to believe that the reason that they never talk to one another is because that's what he does.
Except the rest of the movie, Sean Connery is kind of this like sweet, doughy,
which is also
funny,
monumentally dumb, but we'll get to that later.
Goofy,
we'll get to that later.
Wonderful.
So then the cops come, the authorities come to Indiana Jones's house.
He's certainly not Zed in this movie.
No, and he brings the cops. They bring Proto Indiana Jones comes with the cops, and there's the cross of Coronado. And at no time does Sean Connery get up from whatever he's doing.
Can you get him right there, please?
No, and walk over and go, wait, what's going on? Like, why are there so many people in my living room? You know, and he could have said, Dad, I have the cross of Coronado.
Right. He should have just shouted it at him.
No, and apparently Sean Connery is so not interested that he never comes to the room, even though his house is now full of like 10 dudes, including the local sheriff.
Maybe he's hard of hearing.
And Proto-Indiana Jones.
Huh?
No, we don't get that there. He's more of a younger man. And then, of course, Proto-Indiana Jones takes his own fedora and puts it on Indiana Jones' head, and the Proto-Indiana Jones said, well, you lost today, kid, but that doesn't mean you have to like it. So what does that mean? What is that pearl of wisdom supposed to mean? You don't have to like it? Like, how does that then lead Indiana Jones to it belongs in a museum? Like, how do we... That was just something to say. Let me just point out that this screenplay was written by Jeffrey Boehm, who wrote The Dead Zone, pretty good adaptation of Stephen King, wrote The Lost Boys, wrote Inner Space, wrote Lethal Weapon 2. He basically was kind of the go-to Warner Brothers studio guy kind of thing during the 80s, and then he created The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. and The Phantom in the 90s, and has not written anything since 1996.
Maybe he decided to retire.
Well, after this movie, yes. This movie is the most studio-noted, uncreative movie script.
On.
It's awful.
It is movie, but that doesn't mean...
It's so movie, and everything that was great about Raiders and Temple of Doom I remember watching this and thinking to myself after the opening scene, I'm like, really?
Did you choose this just so you could go on a rant?
Yes. Yeah. So, and then, let's forget, after you say this, it smash cuts to Indiana Jones is on a boat in the middle of, we don't know, the ocean someplace, and he's trying to get the Cross of Coronado from a guy who's on their boat is actually called the Coronado. Yeah. Where the Cross of Coronado is
huge clue.
The huge clue. And there's another action sequence with it. Basically, you can see the PAs just off screen splashing the water onto the deck. And then here's
Yes.
Yeah.
The splashing was
it's
they
right
were
off
in a giant bathtub and just like throwing water at them.
And then my favorite thing is that the boat gets lit up and then it explodes. Mm-hmm. The boat explodes. Now, we could be in the middle of the Pacific. We could be in the Atlantic. I don't know where we are. The boat explodes. And just the most unconvincing model ship, it looked like it was right out of the Bermuda depths, is not that I don't like the Bermuda depths, because it's far more satisfying than this movie is. Wow. So the boat sinks, and it leaves Indiana Jones, a life preserver, flops down in front of him. Well, if he's in the middle of the ocean, what? He's just stuck? Does he fire a flare? Does another boat see the burning wreckage?
They're near land.
Oh, they're near land.
Yeah.
They're near land. They're near land.
And Indiana Jones, he always finds a way to get out of his predicament.
Yeah, but that was a little big. I'm like, how does he get out of that? Is a boat going to come by? It doesn't matter. This movie is unconcerned with any logic or whatever. Cut to the university where Indiana Jones is. He sees Marcus Brody, Denholm Elliott, who we love, and we didn't see him in Temple of Doom, so Denholm Elliott's come back. We didn't get to see Indiana Jones's university. He's back home, his mundane life. He shows Marcus Brody the Cross of Coronado. Marcus Brody basically does exactly, it is nice, he does the same thing from the beginning of Raiders.
Wait, what?
Okay, they're at the university.
Yeah. And he's in that room teaching, and all the girls are like, oh.
Yeah. Exactly the same as the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. We've seen this scene before. We've even seen Marcus Brody come in. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
No, you should go.
Well, I don't even know where we are.
There's people so mad at me right now.
Are they? Are you guys mad?
Oh,
no, look. This is too funny.
Yeah, well...
Thanks, Rex.
No, so anyway... So then...
Uh-oh, Philip is mad. But it's not supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
What, the rant or the movie?
No. So anyway, we got to keep going. So we have this scene. We have this scene again. So Indiana Jones is teaching a class. The class lets out. He says, "My office hours are, and I'll be in my office. And I'll be able to see every one of you."
One at a time.
And so he gives the Cross Coronado to Marcus Brody. He goes to his office, and then we are cut to some wacky guffaw scene where we're supposed to laugh, where his office...
I wondered about that when he handed the cross over to the museum guy.
Yeah, to Marcus
Brody. Can a museum really accept things that are stolen?
Look, Indiana Jones was looking for this for his whole life. It's been stolen 100 times.
Yeah, but can a museum...
Yes. Yes.
Can a museum accept stolen goods?
Come on, that's the least of this movie's problems.
I don't think so.
Anyway, no, they can. That's how it works.
No, that is not how it works.
Okay, whatever. If you get,
I know about museums.
Okay, you can't get stuck on this point. The next point is we cut to Indiana Jones's office, and for some inexplicable, stupid screenwriter reason, every single student in Indiana Jones's class has packed in outside of his office. Because all of apparently the senses of all these college students have taken their leave of them, and they're all
well, he just got back, and so they all have questions.
I understand they all have questions, so they all
want to get A's.
They're all going to pile into the room at once, so they all are it's for a stupid sight gag. It's dumb. No human beings nor college students would do this, but okay, you're supposed to go, ha ha ha.
Well, this was the 40s. Maybe in the 40s, college students would do that.
No, it's not in the 40s. It's in the 30s still.
Okay, in the 30s, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do this.
They cared about getting A's.
Yeah, but anyway. So then Indiana Jones, in another wacky fun scene, climbs out his office window and starts walking across the beautifully manicured campus, and a car...
Well, most campuses are beautiful.
They are, and these gentlemen in a car come and get him.
They do. They come and get him.
And they collect him.
They do collect him, and you think, uh-oh, he's in trouble.
Smash cut to, he's just in this beautifully appointed, like, some house somewhere.
And they're having a party.
They're having a party. You don't know who or whatever or where or what's going on, or there isn't any kind of, like, we're riding with these dudes where we're, like, there's no suspense. Like, the moment of suspense was, okay, then it's gone. And then suddenly... Julian Glover comes out as Walter Donovan.
Yes.
And Julian Glover, who you may start your landing, Lord Vader. I mean, from The Empire Strikes Back. You know.
Yes.
And he...
and he takes him into his office while there's a party going on.
Right. But his wife comes out and says, hey, there's a party going on. His wife, who we never see again.
Never.
You know.
But anyway, he takes him into his office and he shows him a broken tablet carved into stone. And says...
Then the plot is revealed.
The plot is revealed.
They're looking for the Holy Grail. And you hear all this stuff about the Holy Grail, which is what Parsifal was looking for in Excalibur.
Yes. How come he didn't know about the 3 nights? Oh, I guess that was...
Maybe that was after.
After.
Who knows? It's all different. It's all strange,
so,
but
does that
same
mean
iconography.
Arthur lost the Holy Grail?
It's a good question. The blood of Christ.
And then the 3 nights, the 3 brothers went to look for it?
Yeah, so yes, that's right. So there's this whole rigmarole. None of it really matters. And they're trying to find the Grail, but they can't find the other half of the tablet. They don't know where the city is. They know where it was. And all of this, apparently, is they say that the man who went before...
Yeah, the man who was helping to find the Holy Grail... is missing.
And who is the man who went to find the Holy Grail?
The big reveal is, drum roll, Sean Connery.
It's Indiana Jones' dad.
His dad is missing.
Is missing.
Because he's the expert on this Holy Grail.
It's been his life's hobby, his life's passion.
Yes.
And by the way, you know, one of the things I really loved about the first Raiders of the Lost Ark is that even when there's a stage-bound set, like Marion Ravenwood's bar, it felt... there was a verisimilitude to it. Even though it was stage-bound, the way it was lit...
Yeah.
You really... This Walter Donovan's office looks like they redressed the set of a soap opera. I mean, the lighting... I understand Douglas Slocum, but I'm looking at this... This whole movie just feels... artificial. I don't believe a shred or a frame of it.
I need more wine.
But anyway, so, you know, so then Indiana Jones goes back home, and he goes to see, then he goes over to his dad's house to see what's up.
He goes to his dad's house and
someone's tossed the apartment.
Yeah, that they've tossed everything around, and yes, indeed, his dad is missing.
And then he gets in the mail... He gets a package in the mail.
Oh, that's right. He gets a package.
And this is the only part about this movie that's good because so Indiana Jones gets a package in the mail, and it turns out it's his father's Grail diary, his life's work, all of the research. And what was the first thing that you said to me when he flips open the book and he starts flipping open the pages?
There's like drawings and like it's just.
And
really
what was
cool.
the first thing that went through your mind?
Like,
what did you say to me?
I was like, oh. Does Swack Props make one of these?
Does Khaled Swack Props make a Grail diary? That was the first thing out of your mouth. Only an imagination connoisseur would say that, and I got to turn to you and go, yes,
he does.
Yes, he does. And I was like, look at he can do all the pages because he flips through them, and there's all that artwork.
Yeah, and then the whole movie, I was paying attention to like how many pages you could actually see.
And then what did you ask me later?
I was like, how did he get...
You said you did... Is Adolf Hitler's signature in Swack Props?
Yes, is the signature is Adolf Hitler's signature in Swack Props' book.
And I would assume, yes, it is.
I would hope so.
So anyway, Walter Donovan is going to pay for Marcus Brody and Indiana Jones to go to Venice, Italy.
Right.
And meet up with Dr. Schneider.
Yes.
Who is working with Henry Jones. His father.
Right.
And so Indiana Jones and Marcus Brody head off together.
They do.
And it is very apparent that Marcus Brody, who was a badass in Raiders, who at least in my mind, I always thought that Marcus Brody was Indiana Jones before he just got too old to globetrot. And a lot of what Indiana Jones knew had been imparted to him, because even Marcus Brody says in Raiders that he would have gone after the Ark himself if he could have. So
yeah,
what they
then what the hell did they do to him?
Well, they turned him into a doddering old fool,
An idiot.
Which is yet another stupid screenwriter trick.
I agree with that. That's
yes,
lame.
because this screenplay is the most studio mandated script. It anyway. Sorry, I don't want to.
I don't like what they did to him.
Nope.
Really, he's like a bumbling idiot.
Yep.
I don't like that.
I know. I don't either. So they go to Venice.
They go to Venice, and hello.
And here's when they give you the iconography of the travel in Indiana Jones's movies. They use the animation of the line and the map.
Right.
And gratuitously they stop at like 6 different places. You know, the Azores, and they stop in Portugal, Candida. They stop in Portugal on their way to Venice.
Why?
Because the plane's a prop plane.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, so it needs to refuel. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. I mean, I don't mind that. It was a little gratuitous as long as it took, but okay. It's cool, you know. So they get to Venice.
They get to Venice.
Beautiful location photography, by the way. I will give it up because everything in Venice is beautiful. You know, you're at a real location. Unlike another movie that celebrated its birthday that also shot in Venice, A View to a Kill, which was as equally disappointing as this movie is.
Oh my God.
As far as the Bond franchise goes, A View to a Kill is equally disappointing, and it also has scenes in Venice. So what is it with franchise movies going to Venice?
You chose this just so you could rant. Oh my God.
No, I chose it because of the Holy Grail.
No, you only realized that after we started watching.
No. So
okay.
They go to Venice,
So
and
they
here
go to
comes
Venice, and they meet.
They meet Elsa Schneider.
Yeah.
The Aryan beauty that immediately Indiana Jones starts flirting with.
Of course he does.
And apparently we're going to go to the scene of the crime, the last place that Henry Jones was working, which was this beautiful former crypt.
It was a church that they turned into a library. It was a church.
You're right.
Okay. And they used the journal, and also they used the journal for clues, and they find this stained glass window with clues that are written in the journal.
With some numbers.
And
they see the numbers, but what they can't find is 10.
Number 10.
Or X.
X.
And in just some amazing...
And
hang on one second. Oh, you say it.
So, previously in his classroom, he says, X never marks the spot.
Because you know, when you're writing a screenplay, you have a setup, and then you pay it off. And they can't find the 10. They can't find the 10, the Roman numeral 10.
Then he goes up into a balcony and looks down, and there's
and one of my favorite shots in the movie. It's subtle, but it's a great shot. Indiana Jones goes up a flight of circular stairs, and the camera pans up with him.
Awesome.
And it's subtle, it's a great shot. And then
I've always wanted stairs like that.
And then we get to the top, and what does Indiana Jones see on the floor?
A giant X.
A giant X. And apparently, hey, X does mark the spot. Hey,
yes,
Jeffrey Boehm, you are a great screenwriter. Hey. See, now I would just like to point out that the writing in this movie is, the thing about the Indiana Jones movies, at least Temple of Doom is more of a screwball comedy meets an action film, but Raiders, all of the villains and all of the situations that happen have a real danger to them. And even when Indiana Jones gets on a plane in Raiders, you see that he's being followed. You know, there's a real sense of peril. There's a real sense of there's seriousness and playfulness that intermix. The tone of Raiders is it's perfect. We've talked about it a lot on Robservations. The tone of this movie is completely off balance, and you don't believe any of it. You don't believe any of it. And I know.
But come on, it's fun.
You know what? I found this movie to be a parody of an Indiana Jones movie. It was the worst kind of big budget screenwriting.
Honey, we're not to the end yet.
Okay, I'm just saying. So anyway, X marks the spot. And then there's another wacky scene where one of the librarians is stamping a book.
I thought that was hilarious.
And every time he stamps, Indiana Jones takes a big, thing and bangs it on the floor. Bong! And then you have the librarian going, "Did I make that sound?" Like, give me a break. This is a fucking Warner Brothers cartoon right now. This has nothing to do with reality. It is.
Yeah, you don't like comedy. That's the problem.
No, I like comedy, but the comedy in Indiana Jones movies was terrific. It was situational comedy. It wasn't stupid written comedy by a screenwriter that they went and then filmed. I mean, the comedy in the Raiders films, they're fun. It's not the age, it's the mileage. All of the, even when I have dysentery, can I just shoot him? That becomes funny. All the comedy was adult. It was smart comedy. This comedy is in case you were, I want to say it's for 9-year-olds, but that would be disrespecting 9-year-olds.
Wow.
So anyway, then what happens? And then they bang through the floor. They bang, like, Indiana Jones, obviously, he crashed through the Well of the Souls. He's not really interested in preserving, as if anyone wouldn't follow them down there. And of course, we find out that there are mysterious men that have been following them since they got to Venice.
Yes, of course.
Now
they're wearing fezzes.
They're wearing fezzes, so clearly they're bad. Because why else would you wear a fez?
They're not bad. No, the doctor wears a fez.
Sala.
The Doctor.
Okay, well.
Doctor Who.
Okay, we're not talking about Doctor Who.
You said all people who wear fezzes are bad.
I mean in Indiana Jones movies. So anyway, these guys are following them. They find a hole that goes down. They go down and they find these catacombs.
Yes,
they find the
and
catacombs.
there are skulls everywhere and bones everywhere.
And petroleum,
and there
liquid
happens
petroleum.
to be like water with petroleum on top.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. Is there a gas leak or something? Maybe.
You know what? It's just an excuse to be able to set the water on fire, but we'll get to that. So they're looking for the crypt of these.
Yeah, and there are rats, like millions of rats.
And then there's, of course, the witty line. Indiana Jones says, "Oh, rats," and the camera pans down, and there's a bunch of rats. Not exactly bugs. Not exactly snakes. They're rats.
They're rats.
Even that's lame.
They had to change it up.
Yeah, okay.
It couldn't be snakes or bugs. It had to be rats.
Mm.
And rats are...
So now Indiana Jones and Ilsa Schneider, hottie blonde, are going down searching for what's in the Grail to find the catacombs. Hopefully you can find the body of the Christian soldiers, the knights, whatever.
Sorry.
And they find him.
They do, which was weird because she's like, "Oh, it's that one." I'm like, "How did she know it's that one?"
It doesn't matter. In this movie, just stuff needs to happen. It happens.
Yeah.
Because that was more elevated, I understand. And it did have crosses carved on it.
Okay.
So she opens it up, and there's the dead...
he opens it up.
He opens up, whatever. One of them opens it up, and there is the shield, the complete shield,
yes.
Where Walter Donovan only had half the shield, half the stone tablet. Here's the whole shield that's got everything they need to know.
Right.
And somehow then Indiana Jones, even though they've been walking through petroleum and everybody's soaked, he whips out his tracing paper.
Yeah, and it's fine.
That is fine. That's apparently, not wet or anything.
Yeah.
And he's able to do a rubbing.
He does a rubbing.
And then our evil men that are pursuing them in the fezzes decide, let's light this water on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think Mythbusters might poke a hole in this one. Just saying. But they go with it. So, action scene, another exciting action scene in this movie.
So the Fez dudes light up the water.
They light up the water and it burns. Oh, those poor rats.
The rats.
So the whole tunnels, the whole catacombs start burning up.
Yeah.
As if, here's the funny thing. Unless they've been down there, and I assume they probably haven't. We don't know who they are yet.
Nobody's been down there.
But you'd think that maybe if Indiana Jones and Ilsa Schneider are down there, that maybe the Fez dudes might want what they're looking for. And by igniting the whole place, they might get rid of this threat.
Right.
But
wait, you learn later that their goal is not to figure out where it is, but to protect it.
Right, but how do they even know it's down there?
They must know. They know what they're protecting.
Okay, well then how come they... Well, okay, all right.
They know what they're protecting.
All right, I'll go with that. I'll buy into that. That's the least of this movie's worries, but all right.
Okay, so, so everything is on fire. They decide to after he's done doing the rubbing, they decide to use the stone coffin as a protection.
Yeah, they used to get... Because...
They flip it over, but wouldn't it, like... push them down into the water?
Who knows? And
it's a stone.
It's maybe it's wood.
No,
it's wood stone.
Somehow it floats. It's not. It's stone.
Okay.
Somehow it floats.
It's gonna take us until 7:00 to get even through this movie.
Okay. Anyway, it floats. They're protected. The rats start coming in. She starts screaming.
And it's not exciting. It's anyway.
I was freaked out, man, when the rats were coming in that little hole on the side. I was like, oh.
They basically escape, and Fez boys are following them.
Right.
And they escape, and they find a boat. Nice boat. And they basically commandeer a boat to go somewhere. And Fez boys get other boats, and they realize Fez boys have machine guns, and there's a water chase, a watercraft chase.
Right.
That is also equally lame.
Come on, man.
It's lame, driving through the middle, and then at the end...
It's not lame. It's cool. Like, I love that scene. I thought it was great.
All right, it is really on location. All right, they have a boat chase. And
there's, like, 2 ships.
It's well filmed. I'll say it's well filmed.
I thought it was pretty brilliant. Like, they go... He says... Don't go between the ships, and she's like, "What do you mean, go between the ships?"
Yeah, more wacky fun comedy. That's okay. That was an Indiana Jones. That was an Indiana Jones moment. Oh, that's fine.
They go between the ships, and of course, the ships are like being pushed together, and the villains get smashed, and then half their boat comes shooting out.
I mean, it is a little contrived. There's like a tugboat pushing one boat into the next boat.
Yeah.
Like pushing them into the next boat.
Because they want to get them close together. Maybe they're transporting some goods from one ship to the other.
All right, I'll buy that.
Happens.
Seemed a little convenient to me. How do you stop that boat from hitting the other boat?
No,
but okay.
Because they were doing it slowly. And at a dock, that's how they dock some boats. When there's not enough room, they just push them together.
All right, anyway, big action scene. It ends with they're all sucked in by a giant propeller. Like they can't go over there. They get sucked. The one propeller that's going. Anyway,
it's a giant propeller.
Chops up the boat. Battle happens.
Well, it was a good opportunity for Indiana Jones to threaten the Fez dude.
And they get the Head Fez. Head Fez gets put in the boat. They bring Head Fez with them. And then Head Fez basically says, "We are people that are protecting the Grail.
Right.
That is our sacred duty. And they have tattoos on their chests. You know, they're pretty metal, those tattoos.
No,
and
they are protecting the Holy Grail.
They're protecting the Holy Grail. They have the same mark on their chest that was on the shield, that was on the stone tablet.
Yes.
They're men of God, and they're willing to protect the Grail, the secrets of the Grail with their life.
They will do whatever it takes to protect the Grail.
Yes, because any army that has the Grail before it is invincible. Oh, wait. Any army that has the Ark of the Covenant in front of it is invincible. Silly me. Anyway, so we've got they know now what's up, and then Ilsa Schneider and Indiana Jones, who are,
there's some fireworks.
There's fireworks, and
them.
Boom, chicka, boom, bow.
I mean, she's pretty hot.
She is hot, and it's not lost on anyone.
Harrison Ford, pretty hot too.
Yeah, they're hot. So their combined hotness, they get it on. they bump uglies. They get busy. They get busy, and then like he's getting ready, and he's Marcus Brody, and their rooms are tossed. Something's going on.
The rooms they are in the most amazing hotel, I have to say.
Amazing hotel, but basically Indiana Jones tells Denholm Elliott, like, "Hey man, you gotta go. You gotta take
the diary."
Well, he's still got the diary.
Oh, he's got
He's-
the diary.
he's
He
gonna-
gives him the map pages.
The map, yeah, he takes the map pages, and they have to find. Now they know. Oh, the Rubbings. They figure out the city of Alexandretta. They figure out where the city is and where they have to go, and they know exactly where it's located. Now they just have to get there, and then there is shenanigans that happen. They find out where Indiana Jones's dad is being held on the Austrian border.
Yeah, because the Nazis have a base there.
I understand that, but I mean, I would think that Venice is anyway. Whatever. They decide they're going to have to go rescue. They have to go rescue Henry Jones.
Of course, they have to rescue
Ilsa
him.
Schneider and Indiana Jones now have to go to Austria to find.
Yes, of course you would rescue your father.
Okay.
This whole script isn't that bad. I mean, you don't like the comedy part of it, but you're like bashing on the entire thing.
I don't just not like the comedy part of it. I pretty much don't like any part of this movie at all.
Wow.
But anyway.
Wow.
It is a parody of an Indiana Jones movie. Everything a Temple of Doom and Raiders did perfectly, Temple of Doom did excellently. This movie is a subversion of all that. It's the laziest, weakest sauce. Anyway, so they're going to go rescue Indiana Jones's father.
Sean Connery.
And then suddenly they're...
Can you get him?
No,
please?
no, because no.
It's just his foot that's missing.
No. His hat's missing, his glasses are missing. No. So they go and they basically they stop at a castle.
Yeah, so they go to a castle, which is where Sean Connery is being held.
Well, no, the castle's revealed to be a secret Nazi headquarters
It
thing.
is. Yeah, and they did that kind of stuff.
Oh, I know. So then you see the Nazis, and it's a good callback to Raiders. Nazis, I hate those guys. I hate those guys. Another great, witty piece of writing.
Well, he does hate those guys.
I know. But literally, I hate... Not some witty bon mot. He literally says exactly what... A little didactic for me. I hate those guys.
I think you're being really hard on this movie.
I am being really hard on this movie because I sat in the theater when I first saw this movie in 1989, so excited to see it, and I was so angry the whole time I was watching this film. I'm like, bro, guys, George, Stephen, Harrison, what are you doing? But anyway.
Ow.
So what happens now?
So they go into the castle and they
find that there's Nazis there.
It's full of Nazis. I don't even remember what happens. Then they end up being captured.
They get captured.
And then Elsa is revealed to be a Nazi.
Oh my God, what a shocking revelation that was. You even said when we were watching it last night, you're like, she's up to no good.
I was like, yeah, he trusts her a little too much.
Yeah, because Indiana Jones suddenly became dumb.
He's not dumb.
Anyway, it's fine.
Anyway, so
then Indiana Jones escapes or whatever, and then he finds his dad in a room. He actually,
his dad.
Actually, what happens is he figures out what room that Henry Jones is in because it's wired.
Yeah.
And Ilsa Schneider and him are working together, and he uses his bullwhip, and there's a minor scene when he swings outside, uses his bullwhip, and flies in through the window.
Which
and
is cool.
Boom! There his father is, and oh my God, it's Sean Connery.
Sean Connery! Can we please have the figure?
No. And immediately the hijinks begin. The funny, mirth-filled comedy moments when it turns into a Hope and Crosby Road picture.
Come on, you just shit on comedy all the time.
I don't shit on comedy. I like good comedy. I love Get Him to the Greek. I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I love You Man. I love Tootsie. I love Arthur. I love I Some Like It Hot. I love Arsenic and Old Lace. I love King's Road. Or King's Row. I love lots of things.
Okay.
This comedy is here's the thing.
Besides, you made a romantic comedy.
Some would say I made anyway. But here's the thing. So we meet Sean Connery, and they've played him not as a badass. He's kind of this doddering old funny man, like a funny dude.
He's a funny old man.
He's like a funny old guy looking for the
doughy
grail.
And sweet and goofy.
He's a movie character. And I know people say, Rob, it is a movie. He should be a movie character.
It's
no,
Sean Connery.
I understand it's Sean Connery.
Slack.
You know what?
He was Zardoz. He was Zed in Zardoz.
Here's the thing. Marcus Brody.
His package was wrapped with a bow.
Marcus Brody and Sean Connery should be cool. I mean, Henry Jones and Marcus Brody should have an element of cool to them. You know, these are worldwide, worldly adventuring.
I mean, he is James Bond after all.
They make him doddering. There's a moment in here when
he's a little goofy.
When Marcus Brody is going to meet Sala, like in Turkey or wherever the hell they're going, and you know, there's this great push in where Indiana Jones is like, do you think he knows how to speak 10 languages? He knows how to hide. He's got friends from this country to the next. You'll never find him. Cut to Marcus Brody, wacky, getting off the train. Oh, does anyone here speak English?
Yeah.
The guy is
I did not like
he teaches at a university. He says in Raiders, if I was younger, I would go after the Ark myself. The fact that he's a doddering old fool makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
It is the worst kind of comedy when you take your characters and you have comedy at the expense of characters. You never, ever, ever do that. You never have comedy at the expense of characters, especially not in a movie like this. You do not do that. Once you do that in a movie, you know why Star Trek was great, classic Star Trek, and Trouble with Tribbles, and A Piece of the Action, comedy was situational. Star Trek 4, it's like, where do they keep the nuclear vessels? Everyone's an idiot. I mean, I hate that shit. I hate when they do it for the sake of fun, let's make our cool characters dumb and idiotic. So we can make them wacky, mirth-filled antics of Marcus Brody trying to find someone who speaks whatever fucking languages. He's like moving into the part of the world he's supposed to know about.
Honey.
Sorry.
We're talking about the last what? Crusade.
The Last Crusade.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, are you calm now?
Sure.
Take a sip.
I'm fine.
It's all good. It's all good. All right. Are we to the end of this movie?
No. Okay, let's make a long story short. Ilsa Schneider is revealed as... And here, hey, the most controversial part of this movie, you find out that Henry Jones, Dad, and Dr. Indiana Jones, both doctors, they banged the same girl.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
That's like the most edgy part of the flag. Hey, they both got it on. She talks in her sleep. How do you know? Oh.
I thought that
Ba-bam!
was so weird and creepy and funny. Yeah. She got it on with the two hot men.
She got it on with the two hot men.
Son
Throwaway
and
gag.
Father.
By the way, never really brought up again. That should have been what's called a runner. If you're a good screenwriter, you run that joke for a while.
They did. They kind of did.
Not really.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of did. Yeah, they kind of did.
Anyway, they basically escape.
They do.
There's this long, protracted scene where they escape, and they get into a motorcycle. They accidentally... the people that are chasing them, they send a boat off down the river with no one in it. It's not like you can't see that anyone's...
It was a decoy.
Yeah, but
they could have been laying in the bottom of it so that they wouldn't get shot.
Yeah, it's going at 5 miles an hour, puttering out there, and oh, hey, the Indiana Jones music hits.
No, that was a good move. I thought that was a good move.
Okay, then there
but
is...
instead of waiting for them to get in the boat and follow the other boat, they immediately ride the motorcycle past them. That part, I was like...
Well, yeah, it's all, and they can't fire anyway. And then there's like a lame motorcycle chase. They're like being chased by 4 other motorcycles.
They are.
Maybe
that
because
was cool.
No, because there's like 4.
Very
There's
James Bondish.
No, there's like 4 TIE fighters following the Millennium Falcon after they leave with Princess Leia. So hey, why don't we put 4 motorcycles?
Oh come on, dude.
4 motorcycles?
Any kind of spy movie would have.
They can't call anybody else up. Yeah, chase scene.
Come on.
A lame, anemic chase scene.
It wasn't lame. I kind of like the motorcycle scene.
Okay, all right. It lasts. It's fine. Dun 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 dun.
Dun,
oh,
dun.
I remember when this theme really made me feel something.
I love that. I thought the motorcycle scene was good. Anyway.
Okay, then they escape.
We're having a hard time getting through this film.
Okay, and then they escape, whatever. And then what do on their way? They get on a Nazi dirigible. Like a mini Hindenburg. Like no one's going to find them there.
A Zeppelin.
A Zeppelin, yes.
Yeah, they get on the Zeppelin.
A Nazi Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Like they're being hunted by Nazis now, and they get on a Nazi Zeppelin.
It's transport.
I get it, but you know.
It's transport. So I thought it was funny when he threw the Nazi out the window and said he doesn't have a ticket.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ticket in English on a Nazi. Anyway, it's fine. They get on. They have to travel. Oh wait, lest we forget, we forgot a big thing in this movie, which is after the motorcycle chase, they end up going to Berlin for a sight gag. They go to Berlin and see this beautiful, like Nuremberg rally-esque. You know, the Nazi war machine is out.
It was funny.
Everyone on their regalia.
He puts on this Nazi uniform.
Puts on the Nazi uniform. And
first of all, he confronts what's her
Ilse
face?
Schneider, yeah.
Yeah, and she decides, oh, I'm like in love with this dude.
Yeah, like Ilse Schneider is like, yeah, she's like, oh no, I don't want you to get hurt anymore.
That could happen.
You Nazi bitch that
come on.
fucked father and son.
It's Indiana Jones. Like,
No.
she's totally charmed.
Suddenly she's no longer part of the...
because she's in love.
Another stupid screenwriting.
She's in love. That part I could believe.
Just like Grace Jones slept with James Bond, and she didn't really become, like, you know, anyway.
Didn't we talk about this in the last film we talked about, where in Excalibur, all the knights instantly fell in love with women?
Yeah, I get that.
Instantly.
But she was already...
I would do anything for her.
She's already been established as an evil...
Okay, so she instantly fell in love with Indiana Jones. Come on, it's believable.
No, she didn't.
You said guys do that all the time. Maybe girls do that sometimes, too.
Anyway, whatever. So they meet, and it's a 5-minute scene that they must have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on getting all those extras and marching them all. And
come on, he like stumbles in front of Hitler, who is marching through the...
and pulls out the Grail diary and signs it.
Oh, and he signs it. I thought that was funny.
That was some real wacky humor. There's a sight gag. Hey, let's spend all this money for a funny Hitler joke. Hitler's going to sign my book. I get it. It's crowd pleasing. Woo! So then, there's another awesome effects sequence where ILM's C team clearly did the effects, where they're on the dirigible, the Zeppelin is flying to Turkey or where the hell they're going to go.
Yeah.
And the Nazis know they're on, so they have to escape. And what's interesting is the Zeppelin has a biplane connected to it. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that's not untrue, but, you know, so they end up stealing the biplane.
So don't have a problem with it if it's not untrue.
I know, and then...
They get into the plane.
And yes, they get into the plane. They get in the plane, and they get in the plane, and they leave.
I love this scene, by the way.
And then there's an air chase.
Yes, I love it. I love when Sean Connery is like working the machine gun.
Sean Connery is working the machine gun and accidentally, as the German planes are attacking them, accidentally shoots the tail up of the plane they're in. Once more, compromising your character and turning him into a fucking idiot.
When people are older, they do silly things.
No.
He didn't understand the technology of
Yes, he
the gun.
did. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
He is not an idiot.
He wasn't James Bond in this film.
Oh my
okay?
God. Oh my
he
God.
was a father. He's an archaeologist. He's like he's an intellectual. He is not one to know how to use.
Look,
weapons.
The characters in these movies up until this point have been smart, resourceful people. When Marion Ravenwood is in Belloc's camp, you know, trying to seduce him, and you think she's going to win, and then he turns the tables on her, drinking under the table. It doesn't quite work out, but it's done in a smart way. Everything in this movie is ridiculous and stupid, and it compromises the characters at every turn.
Stop it. It's not. It's silly and goofy and fun.
Yes, but that's the problem with the whole movie, is it's silly and goofy and fun.
No.
It should be awesome and fun, and not silly and goofy. And when it is goofy,
Look,
like the
Sean
beginning
Connery was charming. He was charming. He was goofy and charming. I loved it. I did. And you know, I'm a huge Sean Connery fan. I mean, he is Zed.
Yeah, okay.
And I want a Zed figure with his packaged wrap in a bow.
Long story short, again, let's talk about the Nazi airplane that gets shot down and flies around the corner into a tunnel where its wings get sheared off and the hull, the fuselage of the plane...
Well, he was an idiot to follow them into that tunnel.
Nobody would ever do that. That would never happen. This is a dumb... And then, of course, the plane doesn't explode. It slides past them. And I mean,
and
they're in the car
contact.
and they make eye contact. I'm like,
I thought that was funny.
I was expecting John Williams' score right here to go dun 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 dun.
Wow. Wow, is this the movie you hate the most?
No.
Wow. Well, we should review the movie you hate the most, because wow, that would be.
I don't hate this movie the most, but it's up there. It's up there.
I don't hate this movie.
There's another movie I could say that I hate more than this one.
Oh, we all know what that is.
No, it's called Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh.
Anyway. So.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. Look, it's already 7.
Yeah, people are ready to kill me now. We haven't even gotten to the tips yet.
Everyone's annoyed with you.
They are annoyed with me, I'm sure.
They're like, what the fuck?
People love this movie. I'm here to bring the noise. That's what I'm here about. So, okay, so they basically, let's get to the shattering, awesome climax after a bunch of breathless action scenes that really have taken your breath away. Now we wind up at Petra or whatever in Jordan, but whatever, Alexandretta, you know, wherever, the resting place of where the Holy Grail is. So all of our people have met there. Walter Donovan, Julian Glover's here, Elsa Schneider's here, everybody's here. The Nazis that have been vanquished, they're here. And they're all going to walk in, and they have to use the Grail diary, and lots of stuff is happening, and someone's going to go through, and then one of the Nazis tries to go through and gets his head chopped off by blades.
A couple of them get their heads chopped off.
And Sean Connery gets shot, and he's dying.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, now, Indiana, you have to, like, get the Grail to save your father.
Get the Grail. As if, like, where did that come from? Like, if we find the Grail, you can save your father who's been shot. Well, in what world, where's the logic? I get it. I understand. That's cool. That's just something. It's just something else. Movie screenwriting 101. Because of course, if you've been shot, the Grail can save you.
Well, it gives you immortality.
Sure, all right. That's okay. Like, no one knows this. It's kind of like all the vaccines they're coming up with COVID-19. Like, do they work? They might work. We should scientifically maybe test them. We don't know.
They are testing them.
But Sean Connery's been shot, so we have to go. So there are 3 clues.
Oh, my God.
3 clues.
Oh, my God. Okay, so there are 3 clues that...
only the penitent man shall pass.
Sean Connery figured out these clues. And so Indiana goes and he is reciting these clues in his mind, and he figures them out, and he gets through. And he goes into the chamber and discovers that...
Well, he gets through 3 different things.
Yeah.
Like, Jehovah is spelled with an I in Latin, you know. Here's the funny thing.
It's Indiana Jones.
In Raiders of the Lost Ark, he is the ultimate temple. Like he knows everything. He knows everything about how to get into that temple. Everybody else doesn't, but he does. He knows. He's a freaking badass.
All right.
And so we've already seen Indiana Jones do something that is 10 times harder than these 3 things.
That's why he figured it out.
Whatever. I'm just going to say,
God.
compared to this is the opening of Raiders, but 10 times not as good. But okay, so he gets through, and he gets into this room, and what does he find?
I like this part.
Yeah, this is good.
He finds a 750-year-old knight sitting there guarding the chalice.
Guard a room full of
A room full of, which I thought was pretty smart. So there was a room full of chalices,
cups.
different.
And Walter
different
Donovan
chalices.
and Elsa Schneider, everybody follows Indiana Jones. Once he shows the way, they follow him in.
They follow him in.
And so all of our characters, and Walter Donovan, we forgot to say he was revealed to be a Nazi sympathizer, but only because he
Right.
wanted the Grail.
Just because he wants the Grail.
He was just bad.
So he, what's her name? Elsa tricks him by saying, "This is
Doesn't
the Grail."
trick him. She doesn't know. She picks what she legitimately thinks.
Yes, she's doing that on purpose to get rid of him, because if you choose the wrong Grail, then you die.
That's interesting. I never thought of it that way, but you could be right.
course it's
Okay,
that.
okay, that's good. I like that.
Because she's in love with Indiana. And
If
she
I
wants
actually
him to
believe what you were
prevail.
telling me right now, I'd say, ooh, the screenwriting got clever and nuanced.
Well, yes.
All right,
duh.
I'll buy that.
So she's like, "Oh, it's this one." Oh, she's like, "Let me choose." And then she's like, "It's this one, I'm pretty sure." And he's like, "Ooh," and he picks it up. He's like, "Oh, it's so beautiful." And he goes and scoops up the water, drinks, and he instantly like grows old and becomes a skeleton and freaks her out, and she screams, and then he's dead.
So apparently, like by scooping up water,
Yeah.
so the power of God, like the power of God came out of the Ark of the Covenant, it was also imbued in the whatever, and it's fine. So he dies, and that's cool. It's cool. And then Indiana Jones looks around and goes, "Oh, that's the cup of a carpenter," and he would know because Harrison Ford was a carpenter, so he would know which cup to
He
take.
picks the simplest cup, which makes sense. And he goes and scoops up the water, and does he drink it?
Yeah, he does. He drinks it. Apparently, so then he's immortal or whatever. We don't know.
And the ancient knight says, "You are correct. You have chosen wisely."
He chose poorly. More great screenwriting, but it's funny. Hey, he chose poorly. Ha ha ha! It's so funny.
Come on, man.
Dude, if I was 8 years old, this would be my favorite movie I ever saw.
Wow.
I wasn't when I saw it, though.
Yeah, we see that.
So, anyway, shenanigans happen. He
has the right chalice. He scoops up some water. He goes out to his dad. He saves his dad. And then all hell breaks loose because
you can't take the cup
chalice beyond the seal of the tomb or whatever it is.
Making up the rules as you go, but okay.
Yeah, I found that pretty weird.
Yeah, because
the chalice was not born there; it was born somewhere else.
Right. It's not like somebody. I mean, how many contractors had to come in and put that seal on the ground? And you know what they probably did? They probably looked at that seal, and someone went Anal Nathrak Uthras Petho Dothriel Yende, and then boom, you couldn't take the. Nope, can't take it out anymore.
That is what happened. It was Merlin.
Could have been.
Or Morgana.
And then, after their mirth-filled adventures with the Holy Grail that, now, of course, you get shot, and now it makes you whole in 5 minutes. They all get on horseback.
It's the Holy Grail, for God's sake. It saved Arthur. Of course it saved Henry.
And then, not to be outdone, when Marcus Brody gets on his horse, because they haven't denigrated his character enough, his horse takes off, and he's barely hanging on. And then the other three characters ride off literally into the sunset.
I didn't like what they did to his character. I didn't like that.
And then it's over.
Yeah, well, they prevailed.
They prevailed as if there was ever any doubt.
Oh, by the way, the whole place fell apart, and the Elsa fell into a crack. She was trying to get yeah, all that.
That was monumentally lame, by the way. Let me reach for the Grail.
Yeah, and then Indiana falls in there, and then Sean Connery's holding on to him, and he does the exact same thing.
I mean, Jeffrey Bones it's that time when the one guy's on the hood of the truck in Raiders. Let's replay it at the end of the movie when everybody.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
So, Elizabeth, let me ask you. What did you think of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Well, I did find it goofy, but I also found it charming.
So you liked it?
I didn't hate it.
Lots of people love this movie.
A
lot of people say it's their favorite Indiana Jones movie.
It is not my favorite Indiana Jones movie, but I did not hate it.
This is not even my favorite canon films. They're
come
Alan
on,
Quartermain
Sean
movies.
Connery was in this movie. Pfft, come on, man.
Sean Connery was not. He was done a great disservice. No. He's broken. I have to fix him.
He's right there.
I have to fix him.
Okay, but so.
Okay, fine. Okay, look. He's got to be fixed. He's got to go to action.
Give him to me.
He's got the Grail in his hand, though.
Look, he looks beautiful.
Look, he's got the Grail in his hand.
Whoops.
Yeah, there you go.
Look.
There's the Grail.
Oh, come on. Look, he's holding the Grail.
Okay, just put him down.
Yeah, he's missing a foot, though.
Yeah, I know.
He's going into the...
He had an accident.
The action figure hospital.
Okay, so wait, so tell me what you thought of this movie.
He's here in the hospital.
Tell me what you thought of the movie.
I don't hate this movie. I don't love this movie, but I don't hate this movie. I like comedy. Although it was forced comedy, it was silly comedy.
Look, here's the thing. Before everybody, to save myself.
What did you do?
Nothing. Just hang on. To save myself hatred, I would just like to point out that I understand there's a lot of people who love this movie and they saw this movie for the first time. This might have been their first Raider or Indiana Jones movie in the theater. In the theater, I saw both Raiders. I saw Raiders at a public sneak 2 weeks before it opened with Excalibur, and then I saw Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom at the Cinerama in Seattle as a Seattle International Film Festival screening, and I liked Raiders more than I liked Temple of Doom, but I loved Temple of Doom. And so I went into this movie with very, very high expectations, and I was bewildered.
I can see that. This is not consistent with the other movies.
No, and watching it again last night, I was wondering, because I hadn't seen it in a while. You know, I bought the Blu-rays. Obviously, I had the box set, and I was curious if I would have a different take on the film, and I did not. And this does not mean that you should love this movie any less just for what I said, but you have to understand that Raiders of the Lost Ark was something that came out of left field. It knocked my socks off. I think it's a perfect movie.
It's fantastic.
I love Temple of Doom.
I was obsessed with that film.
And when I saw this film, it was turned into, I mean, it was a parody of what I thought these movies were. And all of the smart, everything that was smart about Raiders and cool about Raiders was absent for me for this film. That doesn't mean you guys shouldn't love it. But anyway, lots of people have sent us tips.
Yes.
They probably will never send me any tips anymore, ever.
Oh,
so,
no, come on. We can all disagree and agree and disagree.
So hang on. Let me just put my glasses on. The first tip is from Anonymous. Last Crusade is the indie film that crossed the line into self-parody, like Superman 3 or A View to a Kill. I did not write this. The young indie opening, the treatment of Marcus and Sala. We didn't even talk about Sala, even. The cringe-inducing tapestry scene. We have come to see your tapestries. To me, couldn't be overcome by Connery's casting. Man, Anonymous, you and I park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay.
Come on, look at this guy. Look.
Well, hang on. If you're going to show him, I mean, I don't know where his briefcase is. Look, he's got his hat, too.
His hat.
Mukbang, a series, says, thanks for the new time slot. The East Coast Singularity appreciates your show.
Yes.
Mukbang, I hope you don't hate me forever. I'm sorry about that. And our man Anthony Gonzalez is here. He sends in a tip and says, it makes sense that young Indy would gravitate to the guy with the hat in the cave because the film makes it clear his father paid him zero attention in his youth.
Yes.
But that isn't true. The thing is, they say that. I mean, Indiana Jones says that one exchange, well, that's how you felt when Mom left. I would beg to differ with that because when Sean Connery says count to 20 in Greek, To me, that movie opened showing that Sean Connery not only was a devoted father, demanded he be excellent, and he could speak Greek. Young Indy, with the Cross of Coronado, could speak Greek because his father demanded he learn it. And his father obviously instilled in him that this belongs in a museum. Do you think that Indiana Jones came up with that on his own? No. So the movie was even muddled about the message with the father. When it came out like, that's how you were when Mom left. I mean, that was completely out of... It did not track with what we saw in the opening of the movie. But anyway.
Yeah.
I hate this movie. But okay. I don't mean you should. Mukbang says, does this movie have any V-word whatsoever? No. There is no verisimilitude in this movie at all.
Everything is, like, performed.
None of it looks real.
It's a performance.
I don't buy one iota of this film, except the very last shot. I love the last shot when the sun is setting. You see the silhouette of them riding. That felt Raiders-esque. I like that. So... I'm just saying. Timbula the Spider Monkey. Oh, he's going to hate me too. Hey, Rob and Ace. I've always liked Temple of Doom more than Last Crusade, much to the amazement of anyone I tell that to. The buffoonification of Marcus and Sala annoyed me.
Yeah,
the second
annoying.
Donovan walks into the movie, it's obvious he's the bad guy. 100%. This movie is it feels like a canon version of an Indiana Jones movie. I really think it does. Mukbang sends in a $5 super chat and says, Batman came out the same year, 1989. Glory and Dead Poets 2. It was a great year for film in spite of this entry. I'm only talking about the summer. And I want to tell you that I was very disappointed by 3 of my favorite franchises. License to Kill for Bond. Felt like a glorified Miami Vice episode. Ghostbusters 2. Again, ILM, the effects ILM was doing at this time, they were way overextended. Ghostbusters 2, Indy, the effects were terrible. I hated Ghostbusters 2 as well. License to Kill. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, directed by the mighty Shatner. Yes, film was a huge letdown. And I have to say, Batman, while probably the best of the bunch, still not as good as I wanted it to be. It was a very dire summer for the old Bobby here, let me tell you. Eyes on the Wire sends in a tip and says, you think JJ studied this film as a foundation for his own movie logic? Probably. Probably.
Wow.
Hey, Claudius. Wait, Claudius is here. Wait a second.
Thought you were working.
This must be Candida.
No, it's Claudius.
Is it Claudius? Please. Bonjour, mon amis. It's hard reviewing franchise movies after the character progression depicted in Game of Thrones. It's also difficult after watching the planned plot lines of the MCU. I think it's time for a young Indiana big screen reboot. I would be all for that. I mean, I adore, for instance, a movie that ripped off Temple of Doom. I like young Sherlock Holmes. I think young Sherlock Holmes... Look,
how do you feel about National Treasure?
I like National Treasure.
Those are great movies.
I like National Treasure. But you're right. I mean, I think it could be good. By the way, I haven't... Hang on, let me click over to what people are saying, and I have to move over this way. Kendiana Jones. Somebody's a mean drunk tonight, Rob. You don't like bad movie nights because it might be mean to the filmmakers, but here you are shitting all over Last Crusade. The pot is calling the kettle black, bro. Laugh out loud. Listen, to be clear, this movie is disappointing to me because of the talent involved. And that's it. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorite movies ever. And it's the same, it's Spielberg and Lucas. I loved Temple of Doom, and when it came out, people didn't love it. And I was a staunch defender of it. I said, this is more like a serial than the first one, and I liked the fact that it got really dark, and yet it also had the screwball romantic angle. It was all played, even the people say about, Rob, what about the dinner scene in Temple of Doom and all that? But that was very calculated. It was, the stuff that was in Temple of Doom felt like they were playing with movie tropes from the past. This movie felt like it was written by a screenwriter in 1988 when they made the movie, and it was written by Sid Field, screenplay by, that it was written by the numbers. This movie was not inspired to me. It felt like it was a by-the-numbers retread of Indiana Jones because they had such a hard time coming up with a story. So it's not that it's different. This movie is not about bad. This movie's to me about tremendous disappointment in a creative team after making movies that I dearly loved. And I felt the same thing about View to a Kill.
That makes sense.
So I'm just saying. Bob, the part-time bard, sends in a tip and says, "My lord and lady of loquaciousness, thanks for the new stream time. I do not like any of the Jones sequels. Doom was the harbinger of films having stunt ballets with no real tension rather than suspenseful action. And yes, Crusade is silly." Although I will say Temple of Doom, like the end of Temple of Doom on that bridge, was really, I thought, great. You know, they were on a bridge, a rope bridge, and Indiana Jones had a machete. And guys were coming at him from both sides. I love the end of Temple of Doom. Just thought I'd point that out. Namkos sends in a super chat and says, "It's not an X, it's a perfect 10." Well, okay. Tim is here. Timbula, the spider monkey, says, "The boat that Indy jumps off of at the beginning of the Portuguese coast, as the card on the screen says, how far off the coast that is, who knows, but this part didn't bother me." Well, okay, you're right. I'll buy that, off the Portuguese coast. But it was like a tramp steamer. You know, it was a big ship. And off the Portuguese coast could mean 100 miles. It wasn't like, let's say it was 10... Even Jaws, how far is the orca off the shore in Jaws? And it takes Sheriff Brody, and it takes Matt Hooper, and two of these to get back to shore. But okay, I can see that. I mean, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Notting Hill Claudius. Madam Elizabeth, earlier today I suggested to Rob Friday night date night movies where we can dive into romantic films like The English Patient, Chocolat, The Postman.
Yes.
The Postman is I love that. Melina, Out of Africa, Her, Casablanca, and of course Amelie. I'm all for that. I said we should do a romantic
You are brilliant.
week.
I love that.
I said we should do a week of romance.
Romantic Friday.
Yeah, or we could do a whole thing.
Do I get to pick the movies for that?
Yes, yes, there you go. You can pick romantic. There you go. Why don't we just...
Thank you, Claude.
Why don't we just make all Friday Romantic Friday?
Romantic Friday.
Romantic Friday. We'll do Romantic Friday.
I've got some movies for you.
Romantic Friday. We'll do Romantic Friday now. From now on, that'll be part of Elizabeth's.
Oh my God, I love it.
Tonight on Romantic Friday. Lady Throg saith hi. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, wait. Yes, hello, Lady Elizabeth. Your hair looks great.
Thank you.
We still can't get our hair cut. I can't get my pixie cut. It's been 2.5 months.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I'm a hairstylist, so, you know.
But we're looking at that camera right now.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I would do your hair, but I can't.
Anthony Gonzalez says, "No Ticket is funny. My whole theater laughed." It is funny. All of it's funny. But it's funny at the most basic level. You know, there's funny and there's real witticism. That's what I like. You know? Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night. There's a line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Midnight's Edge is here. Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Hello.
Sends in a super chat and says, "Happy Memorial Day to the Burnettwork gang."
Well, thank you.
I love that. We should have a song for the Burnettwork gang.
Yes, we should.
Mukbang Reviews. Mukbang. Liz, which was better, this or Beyond the Valley of the Dolls? P.S. I love the new fluted glasses. We got these today.
Yay!
By the way, we had curbside pickup at what was it? World Market?
World Market.
World Market.
Curbside pickup.
Curbside pickup. You had to pre-order.
I was like, oh, they don't like our glasses without flutes, so I'm getting fluted glasses.
Yeah, which is good. It's true. We hear you. We pay attention.
Yeah, no, definitely this better than Valley of the...
Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Well, what's really interesting, this could be Beyond the Valley of the Grail.
It's true.
For me, it kind of is.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate this movie, but I don't love this movie.
This is my Grail quest, and it freaks me out.
They made my beloved look silly.
Oh, you have to look at it. I know, I gotta fix that. Throg Day the 13th sends in a tip and says, "Hello, my name is Throg Montoya. You
Yes.
killed Odin Frog. Prepare to die.
Yes.
Rob, shit on Alien 4, not Zed from Zardoz or Han from Star Wars. I don't shit on Han from Star Wars or Zed from Zardoz. I love Zardoz in Star Wars. I'm going to watch Skyfall again. Claude might be onto something. I have chosen wisely, to quote Last Crusade. Eric G says, sends it a nice tip and says, I think we found something Rob hates more than Picard. I am a little.
I don't know about more.
No. Let me be clear.
Equally.
Let me be clear. I hate Star Trek Picard a lot more than I hate The Last Crusade. I still love Douglas Slocum's photography. I there's a lot to enjoy in this movie. This movie is not worth. It is a fun movie it's fine. It's just disappointing coming after Raiders and coming after
I get it.
Temple of Doom. It's not a horrible movie. It's just a monumentally disappointing one. Kind of like Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Everyone got all quiet like Kendiana Jones says, thanks to Elizabeth for the defense of the film. Actually, I got a kick out of this whining. Very entertaining. I hope so, because if you got a kick out of it, that's good, because I'm going to get a kick in the ass from everybody who watches this episode. People are like, what? That's my favorite Indiana Jones movie. Well, that's because you didn't see Raiders in the theater when it first came out.
How could you like this better than Raiders?
I don't know.
That would be weird.
I don't understand how you can like Return of the Jedi better than Empire or Star Wars either.
That's all equally weird.
Yeah. Stop the Hate, Rob. Tipped $1 and says, this was supposed to be a slapstick comedy to end the trilogy. Nobody was coming back. It's Uncle George and Steven's farewell to the characters. Elizabeth, I can sculpt that Zed figure for you. A self-portrait sculpt should do.
Wow, really, Zed?
Well,
but you have to wrap his package in a bow.
You'd have to have the clothes and all that. Uh-oh. Swag Props is here. Rob, you're breaking my heart.
Oh!
Sob. Well,
you hurt Swag Props.
Well, no, let me just say, you did say that Swag Props
I knew he would make a book of this.
Oh, and it's amazing. Our man Cal here, Swag Props, he makes prop replica books. And they're amazing. I have 2 of them.
They are amazing.
You're amazing.
They're amazing.
I mean, tell the folks at home how blown away I was when I first got that 9 Gates. The 9
Gates is mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing, right?
It's like this beautiful leather cover, and the inside is just... It's just...
Wasn't I stoked?
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
It's mind-blowing.
So, Swag Props, S''WAK Props, Etsy store. Go check out Swag Props. He makes a Grail diary.
Yeah. But you know what? I request the Donnie Darko time travel book.
Oh, I'm sure he's probably... he knows. If there's ever a book in a movie, Cal knows. Swag Props knows. He knows. Dr. Claudia says, Elizabeth is right. Of course, Elsa picked the wrong one on purpose. Elizabeth, c'est union drôle de spectacle. Vous devez, I can't even say la prochaine, I can't even know what that is. Quasir le prochain film. I don't know what that means.
I can't help you until 30,000 subs.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, Throg is right. Says, no boobs. Make Rob Hulk smash boobs. Make Rob.
That's true. Maybe
this
that's
is high
why
art.
you hate
Boobs
this.
are objective, but subjectively it's out of the question. No, look,
you
come
hate
on,
this
man.
Because there's no boobs.
That is not. Don't even make that a thing.
There's no boobs.
There's no thing for me to like. Look, I don't like movies just because there's boobs. Come on.
But you tend to prefer movies with
That
boobs.
is not true. Don't. No. Rob Corsack says the super chat says this movie felt gimmicky to me. Not a big fan.
I get it.
Not a big fan.
I get it.
Well, there you go. Throg Connery sends, I forgive you, Rob. It was Latin. Well, all right.
Yes, you said Greek. It was Latin.
Okay, it was Greek. Did I say Greek? Okay.
Yeah.
The director, Alan Smith, sends in a tip and says, hey, R&B, you know I love Raiders. I mean, God shows up at the end and smites a bunch of Nazis. His face melts off. His face literally melts off. Temple of Doom was a dark indie movie where Indy is in it for fortune and glory. I loved it. Well, Alan Smith,
I can agree
you
with
and I
that.
park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay. Yes, sir. Timbula the Spider Monkey says, time to get back to movies you love, Rob. Next time, maybe Miller's Crossing. Miller's Crossing is a great movie. But, well, maybe it is only Monday. It's only Monday. Yes. It's only Monday. Miller's Crossing is great, and you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't.
Slevin Beam says, Last Crusade or Crystal Skull, which is better? Oh, Last Crusade is way better than Crystal Skull. Way better. Let's make like, look, to me, Raiders is an A+ movie. Temple of Doom is an A-, B+ movie. Last Crusade is a C. It's a C because it is enjoyable to watch.
It's fun.
It's enjoyable to watch. It's just, I think it's such a come down, whereas Crystal Skull is a D-. Yeah. Lady Candida is here and says,
Hello.
Hola, Elizabeth. Love your hair and the new glasses.
Thank you.
Can you come to Virginia to do my hair? I can't wait for the romantic movies. I'm sure Willow wants Rob to recap Love Actually.
Oh, Love Actually. Rob actually loves...
I love Love Actually.
Yeah, actually.
I actually love Love Actually.
Love Actually.
I do.
Actually.
Well, look, this is like our longest episode. It's 7:26.
Well, because you were ranting the entire time.
I know. You know what?
We have one more super chat.
Hang on, just a
Or
second.
tip.
Why don't we cut
There's
back to
one more
us?
tip.
Let's cut back to us. You know what? I just want to point out that I was not drunk and I wasn't angry. I've been angry about this movie for 31 years. I wanted to get it out of my system. Tonight was my way of venting. And I think you've learned something more about me psychologically than perhaps any episode of Robservations or Elizaviews might reveal. Whatever it means, I don't know. But at least I'm honest. You're never gonna. I will never. You're gonna get unfettered, unfiltered Rob on this show.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Stop the Hate Throg says the new Ewok song by John Williams is still better than the Yub Yub Celebrate the Love piece of shit in Return of the Jedi. Let me tell you something, Throg. I'm going to drink to you because, yes, sir. La 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 la. I love that. La 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 la. I love that. It's great.
Keep going, babe.
I think it's great.
Keep going.
No, I think it's great. So, we have come to the show with our bottoms up scale.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 4 glasses. Why 1 to 4 glasses, Elizabeth? Why is our bottom up scale?
1 to 4 because there are 4 glasses of wine in a bottle. Actually, the way Rob pours, there are 4 glasses of wine in a bottle.
There's none left from this lovely drop
I
that
wanted a
Candide
little
and
bit
Claude
more.
gave us.
Bummer.
We still have one more bottle of their wine, though.
Yeah, but not for tonight.
Okay.
Sorry, babe.
I know.
Whew.
So?
Okay. So, what did I give Beyond Valley of the Dolls?
Come on, don't. It's not. No. You have to. You have to look at it. You like this movie. You like Sean Connery in this movie. You have to think about.
Well, Sean Connery. I mean, he's my guy. He's my guy. And he was in this film. And just for that, I'm going to give it 2.
2? That's it? That's all you're going to give Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is 2?
Yeah.
2 glasses of wine?
Yeah, I'm not going to give it more than that.
Really? You like this movie?
I thought it was funny and goofy. But I don't love this film.
You're only going to give it 2?
Why? Were you going to give it 2? I'm going to give it... Fine, I'll give it 2.25.
Even I was going to give it more than that.
2.25?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, fine. I'll give it 2.5. Is that better?
That's what I give it. I give Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade
After
2.5
all
stars.
That ranting?
Out of 4. 2.5 out of 4.
Rob, this is mind-blowing.
Do you know why? You know why?
It's Sean Connery.
No, I think because...
And Harrison Ford.
Because the thing is, it isn't a bad movie in and of itself. It is a serviceable, enjoyable movie. It doesn't... You don't hate it, and when you watch it, it's kind of breezy and all that.
It's fun.
If Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom
2.5.
and Raiders of the Lost Ark didn't exist, if this were the first Indiana Jones movie, I think people...
It'd be fun.
It would be good. I would have no problem with it. Why I hate this movie so much is because it is such a letdown after the first two films. And a lot of people will tell... Temple of Doom is wildly uneven in terms of tone. And people will say, Rob, what about the whole opening sequence when they fall out of the plane? What about that? What about that? Like, that's ridiculous. There's no verisimilitude at all.
Is that what people say?
They will say that. I think the entire opening of that film, the whole anything goes, what it does is that movie sets its tone from the beginning. And the scene at the beginning, it is total 1940s action, serial, screwball, comedy, romance. It's all there at the same time. Good service here. I go into the great beyond first, Indy. You know, it's all set up, and the tone is set up, so it explains to you where you are at in the Club Obi-Wan scene, and it continually delivers on that throughout the film. This film does not do that. This film, its opening sequence, I think, fails. It tries to make you think that young Indiana Jones and the Cross of Coronado happened in an afternoon, and I don't like that. I think what that is it's movie trunk.
There can be moments that influence your entire life.
I understand, but the entirety of Indiana Jones's persona, everything we know about him, happens in one day.
Absolutely.
In that. With a bad...
Think about how much Captain Kirk influenced your life.
Yeah, but that's because I watched him every night for years. I didn't just have one day where I met some guy who gave me a fedora and said, hey, kid, sometimes you lose. You don't have to like it. Oh, okay. Worldview.
I don't know. I think that you can be influenced by one moment in your life.
Throg says, do the yub-dub dance, too. You know what I'll do? You got to do the Lando Calrissian at the end of Return of the Jedi, which is this. Watch it. You know what I'm talking about. I give it 2.5 stars.
Fine, 2.5 stars.
You don't have to change your vote because of me.
No, because I like this film. I don't hate it.
All right. Well, let's bring an end to Elizabeth's Whining About Movies, episodes 32.
Yes.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yes.
I've waited 31 years. I feel like I've unburdened. I felt like this was a great
therapy. This was a therapy session.
It was a therapy session. I finally got it out of my system. I got it out. I'm on the record. Everything that I felt as I wear my Jameson Baby Yoda shirt, I feel I've given myself legitimacy. I feel good about myself. I finally unburdened after 31 years. By the way, this is the Toys McCoy figure. Yeah, that's a great figure. That was the first great Indiana Jones. That was really the first high-end action figure. That's the Toys McCoy Indiana Jones figure. And oh, you want to see something cool? Here, let me show you. Look at this. Wait. And feel this. Feel it. Feel it. It's metal.
What is this?
It's the idol he gets at the beginning of Raiders.
Yeah.
Look at that. And it's metal.
Very cool. It's in his little pouch.
That's before Belloc takes it from him, because he speaks Jovitos.
Wait, I can't get it in there.
Okay, don't drop that. Be careful with that. That's a very rare action figure now.
Look at his sword. I mean, his whip.
Yeah. Keeping up with the Jones boys. Okay, it's not. This is not Elizabeth's Playhouse. Come on. This is the Robservatory.
Come on, man. You never show your toys.
I know.
I love your toys.
I know, but I really don't love it when you touch them.
Too bad.
Come on, man.
Too bad. I love the toys.
Come on, man.
I
know she loves the toys. Oh my God! Every time you say that, something's gonna happen.
It's fine. It's all good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this brings Elizabeth's number 32 to an end.
2.5 from both of us.
2.5 from both of us. Indiana Jones and
What's
The
our next
Last
movie?
Crusade. You know what our next movie is?
What?
I don't know. I mean, I got to think about it.
Can I choose?
Friday. No, you're choosing Friday's movie.
Okay, but can I choose Wednesdays too?
No.
I still want to do Moonrise Kingdom.
No. If we're gonna do a Wes Anderson movie, let's do
Come
some.
on, man.
No, let's not have this conversation now. Let's talk about it later. We have to end the show, babe. We have to end the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back. I, of course, will be on John Campy's show and on Robservations tomorrow. Elizabeth's Whining About Movies will be back on Wednesday at 6 p.m. with another movie that we'll have to talk about.
Moonrise Kingdom.
So we're at the end of...
What do you guys think?
No. Moonrise King... No. So, we're at the end of the show. What do we say at the end of the show, babe?
Everybody you meet has a story to tell that you have not heard yet. And all you have to do is listen.
All you have to do is listen. And I believe that wholeheartedly. It's true, by the way. And
have a better night.
Have a better night. Thanks for all the support. I want to thank Louis Yu. I want to thank, as our moderator, I want to thank the Richard. I want to thank I'll just thank everybody. Mike Bodden. I want to thank Detective Jim and his wife Heidi. I want to thank Greg Smith. I want to thank Jordy Lyons and Louis Yu. I want to thank the Richard. If you haven't gone over to the Post-Geek Singularity Facebook page or the Whining About Movies Facebook page, the Richard is always having watch parties. I mean, we were watching a little RoboCop last night at the very end.
Yeah.
And it's great. So go join them and go find the Richard and say hello. But thanks for all of your support and everything that you do for us. And send us letters. We got to get more letters.
We love letters.
We love letters. So thank you very much. And as always,
have a better night.
Have a better night.
Good night.
Good night.